Anyway, well, thank you all for being here. Quick question, who here has a baton? Who brought their own batons? Yeah, you did, Claire. If you did not, no worries, no problem. You can conduct with your hands. And I have seen one rare instance when someone conducted with their eyes. That is a thing. But anyway, well, my name's Jose. I think most of you, who was at the show yesterday at Main Stage? Kind of.
I couldn't get it. It was too packed.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully you heard it at least from the outside. Hope it sounded epic. Brandon will be here with us shortly, like I said, but he can introduce himself when he gets here. So I get asked this question all the time. Why do you need a conductor? Why do orchestras even have them? And I think a lot of people here, when people just go to orchestral shows and see the conductor, they see the orchestra, they don't realize that the majority of the work the conductor has done happens before the show, during rehearsals, during sound check. By the time the conductor gets up there, we're still doing work, but it's more like a coach. It's like a football coach. A lot of the work happens behind the scenes. And whenever, a conductor stops and people keep playing, well, like, they don't need the conductor to keep playing. Well, give them 5 more minutes and they'll start falling apart. But there's a couple of things too I wanted to point out. There's 2 main types of conducting. I mean, there's many subclasses, like marching band, and then there's wind ensemble, there's choral conducting. But for the purposes of this demonstration, there's 2 types, concert versus scoring. In other words, are you conducting for a live concert with an audience, or are you conducting for a scoring session for a recording? And depending on which of those 2 things you're doing, it will change the approach to that. A few things, very basic stuff. It's all about the beat pattern. It's really all about the beat. When you have the baton, you're doing the beat patterns. I'll have in the next slide a few other examples. Dynamics. As a conductor, being up in the front, you have the best seat in the house to hear the orchestra. So when you're up there, it's almost like real-time mixing, where, okay, let's knock this down a little bit, let's bring that up a little bit. Because when you're in the orchestra, you can't really hear other people as well. You're gonna hear your own section. If you're sitting right in front of the trumpets, that's all you're gonna hear. So it's really important for the conductor to have a good sense of those dynamics, all the way from as low as pretty powerful, maybe powerful, mezzo, fortissimo, fucking fortissimo, all that stuff. And then, and for all those things, really the most important thing you do when you get up there is the prep. That first prep, that first cue is going to give you 4 bits of information. The tempo, the dynamics, the character, and the breath. Really important that we all breathe together. We'll get into that a little bit more. All right, I want you all to stand up now, and we're going to do a few little exercises real quick. Y'all didn't think this was going to be a yoga class, but here we are. So, hopefully you can still hear me. I'll use my conductor voice. So first thing I do, whenever I go into a rehearsal, I'll find some dark corner in the back of the rehearsal space, and I just let loose, like pretend no one's looking at me. I'll do jazz hands. If I have a watch, I'll take it off because I find it distracting to have the weight of a watch. I usually take off my ring as well. You want to be as comfortable as possible. Shake your hands, loosey-goosey, as supple of a wrist as you can. So I want you to shake out your wrists until they feel like Vienna sausages, basically. Like nice, supple, loose. And what that's going to allow you to do is that when you go up there, instead of doing this, you're going to be able to swing. I want you to pretend that as you're waving your arms, you're threading water. You're feeling the weight of water as you push them up and down. And let your wrist lead, just up and down. Your wrist leads, your hand follows like you were threading water. Just let it fall in time. Just the wrists. Don't worry about the other hinges. And then as you get looser, add more hinges. Your elbows, your shoulders, your fingers. And just really let it loose. Oh, nice stretch. And now you're ready to conduct. One thing one of my conducting teachers told me, when you're doing a beat pattern, pretend you're playing basketball. You're bouncing a ball. So I want you to just take your right hand, pretend you're bouncing a ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to find the place of power. See in that slide, there's a place of power. It's usually around here for some reason, but everyone's different. Imagine you're carrying a box. So if you're carrying something heavy, like a box or something, you know, if I were to be holding up, I'll pretend this is heavy. So when you're carrying something, you naturally have a place of power right here. It's not all the way down because that will lock your joints. It's not up here. You know, imagine you're carrying a big box. No one carries it like this, right? It's somewhere around here. And where that place is, that is where the beat should go. That's the reason whenever you see me conduct, the podium's always, the conductor stand, I usually keep it pretty low. Sometimes people put the stand up here. I find that hard because I'm going to be smacking the stand. So I want you to find that place where you're dribbling the ball, where you would have been carrying a box. And you'll find that naturally you'll want to just go there every time consistently. If you were to be doing it up here, I already feel the weight of my arms a little bit more. This should be your default, right here. That should be your default. So as we go through the beat patterns, I want you to put the beat there every time. Okay. Let's do a few beat patterns here. Oh no. We'll start with these threes. The first one's in 2, the first one is in 3, the last one's in 4. And that's as high as musicians can count, so that's what we're doing. So let's try it. So again, you want to feel like whenever I conduct, I want to have space. See, this is why I'm already getting back here. Like I find that table distracting. So find your space, don't smack the person next to you without their consent. And let's try some 2 patterns. We'll start with 2. So actually, let's start with 1. So if you're doing a 1 pattern, like I said, find that beat. So it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, keep going. Now we're going to switch to 2. Out, up. 1, 2. Downbeat, upbeat. Downbeat, upbeat. Downbeat, upbeat. Downbeat, upbeat. All right. Keep going. Now we're going to do 3. 1. Oh, sorry. Hold on. It's confused. I'm going to try to. Is that from the? Where can I see this? Yeah. So this is mirror. So just follow what I'm doing, but mirror it. It's always out. In 3, it's always out. It's hard to tell from that photo. Yeah. So if I were to be looking at it, yeah, like that. Let me turn around. 1, 2, 3. 1. Out, up, down, out, up. Yeah, so that's correct. I'm just looking at it from the other side, but I just want to make sure no one gets confused from that mirroring. All right, cool. So, all right, now let's try 4. Down, in, out, up. Down, in, out, up. One very important thing, never cross your hands. Never cross your hands. So you always want to keep the baton on your right hand from not crossing the plane. Sometimes you'll do crazy stuff, but you don't cross your hands because what's going to happen is when you get in the heat of the moment, there have been many times where this will happen and then the baton gets flung to, it's always the violin twos for some reason. You know,
Well, that's their motivation to get good enough for violin one.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, in, out, up. Remember, nice beat, find that ictus, boom, you're bouncing the ball. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Yeah, keep going. I want to see more bounce. I'm seeing a lot of you, like you're waving, you know, what do you call those from cheerleading? Like I think they call them batons, yeah. So that's more twirly action, you know? I want to see that beat. Can we try it? 1 beat, accent, accent. I really want to see a clear beat. Yeah, just really let that ball drop. You're bouncing that ball, boom. With gravity, let your hands just come down with gravity. Don't try to control it. I'm seeing some people trying to control it. Oh, just let your arms fall. Let gravity do all the work. That makes it predictable. That makes it so that people can see where the next beat is going to be. Because that's the beat. Beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Keep going. There's so many other patterns too you can do, as you can see from this crazy chart. There's a 12 pattern down there. I don't think I've ever had to use 12 before. The reason why anything above 6 really becomes hard to follow, and I always like to subdivide it. For example, if you were there for One Winged Angel, how do we do 7? I didn't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
This is why I missed the whip.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's
I
up?
was listening for it.
I said, this is why I missed the whip the first time.
Oh no, you're good, no worries. Articulations, like I said, that beat you're feeling, that will give information too. So if we have something that's accented, like going all the way in right, I'm usually going to give a little bit more ictus. If something's more legato, little less ictus, little less ictus. People do respond to that. When you see that, that's what they want. So dynamic. So dynamics, you know, right now we're doing pretty big gestures. I would say that's a good mezzo forte, a good default. But of course, you know, when something's quiet, like imagine what's like the main theme, you know. It'd look weird if I'd be like, it's a gentle piece, so the dynamic, the size of the beat will reflect that. And one thing to keep in mind very quickly, you have different joints. You have your fingers, you have your wrist, you have your elbow, and you have your shoulder. Rule of thumb is the bigger the dynamic, the louder, the more joints you're going to use. So if you're conducting just with fingers, that's that. Just wrist, elbows, shoulders. And then sometimes you put your whole body into it if you want. Let's see. But the most important thing, after all that practical stuff, the most important thing is score stuff. Sometimes in scoring, you don't have that luxury. If you go to say Fox or Eastwood and Warner Brothers, sometimes that morning, that's the first time you're looking at the music. That's an exception. And I think Tim Davies, one of the legendary conductor, probably the person who does this the most these days. He's done everything for John Williams and such. He said, even if you don't know the music, pretend you do. And if someone tries to argue with you, say, I'm not arguing, I'm right. But there's a few things. Like I said, I'm mostly focusing on concert music. So when you're up there, very important to be relaxed. Just relax. And that's what I'm trying to do. What time did we? I think I went to bed at 3 a.m., so sorry if I'm not the most relaxed right now. But usually when I go into a rehearsal, And yesterday was no exception. I need to have like an hour right before, just to relax a little bit. Just go hide, like I said, just freak out for a second. Because if you're not relaxed, your gestures will reflect that, and the music will suffer. Decisive, very important. If you're ever conducting, it's not your job to ask questions. Your job is to answer questions. So, and Claire, you know this very well. You ask a lot of questions all the time, and I try to give you as many answers as I can. But I will be making decisions, like, okay, can we do this? What about this and that? And that, like, for example, I might look at the score, or is that staccato or not, or an accent? No, that's short, staccato, done, you know? Decision. I'm not gonna be like, oh, can we try that? Let's see how that sounds. No, short, staccato, let's do that. And welcome, Brandon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you want to join me?
Yeah.
Come on in. Everyone, welcome, Brandon, my co-director for this year's shenanigans. How's the taco broth?
I brought the Wiener Schnitzel. That gives you any indication.
Regret it tomorrow.
Oh, I did. I sure did already.
You missed the yoga portion of the workshop.
Excellent.
Cool, so moving on. Concise as well, short. I think someone once calculated that to rehearse the LA fill per minute costs $10,000 per minute. So every minute you're up there is costly and important. And you want to be respectful of people's time. So short, I have known some composers. Composing and conducting sometimes go hand in hand, but I know a lot of composers who are not conductors. They'll go up there, oh, so this piece, you know, I really want to do this. I'm going to have like this psycho vibe, all this stuff. They'll talk for 10 minutes, like, bro, that's 10 minutes we could have been reading the music and learning the music rather than talking about the music.
100%.
So when I go up there, I almost never talk. I try to talk as little as possible, and when I do talk, important is being clear as well, very important to you for you to know the music and know what you want from it. Efficient also goes hand in hand with concise. But by efficient also, I mean, be mindful of that clock that's just ticking. And you will need every minute to do it right. And above all, respectful. When I started conducting, I've been conducting professionally now for 10, 12 years or something. And I met a lot of people who joined my group. I conduct at UCLA, a lot of students who played in band in high school, orchestra in middle school, and a lot of them quit. A lot of them never wanted to do it again because they were subjected to egos, abuse, verbal beration, and I promised myself I would never do that to anybody who came and rehearsed with me. I had a old co-director, not you, Brandon, but another one 10 years ago, who once went up there. We were reading, it's called Great Sea from Windwaker.
Yeah.
And,
It's a good one.
you know, we were rookie arrangers, we were still getting our bearings together, and I was collaborating with a rookie arranger, and she wrote the most gnarly trombone line. It was like, you know, impossible to play. Like, I would have known that, I know that now, but I didn't know at the time, and I missed it. And the trombones were just struggling, like, this is not idiomatic for this instrument. The conductor wasn't really mindful of that, and he's like, trombones, why aren't you playing this correctly? Did you practice? No. I want you to, trombones, leave the room, find the side room, practice, and don't come back until you can nail it. Guess what happened? The trombones quit. I never saw them again. They left. Right? And I ran after them. I'm so sorry you said that. You don't have to. No, we're done. I'm sorry. We're out of here. You know?
I've been on the receiving end of that kind of thing. It was, something where there was dovetailing trombone lines, and I was playing trombone in the group, and I had a conductor just say, like, there's no excuse for you all to not be nailing this, like, crazy dovetailed entrances, very staccato-y section thing, and I'm like, I'm here to have fun. Like, I just started packing up my things, and I left.
Yeah.
And was asked, like, oh, do you have somewhere else to be? I'm like, yeah, anywhere but here.
Exactly.
And so it makes a huge difference.
It does,
The
yeah.
approach.
And it is something that, be the change you want to see in the world. And I don't think there's room for abuse in music. And it seems to be such a common thing. This is why I just want to make that point. If you ever get the chance to be in that position, please be respectful. Any position of power. It's just so important to me. So, let's see. Where were we here? Common pitfalls, intonation and rhythm. Those are above the line because when we rehearse as an orchestra, those two should be under your belt already. Like I said, those egotistical conductors want you to have every single thing perfectly in tune, perfectly in rhythm. But that is something you should do at home. When you're reading, preparing for the rehearsal, practice your part, intonation, rhythm, notes. That should all be under your belt because when we get to the rehearsal, we're going to work on balance, we're going to work on phrasing, the bowing, the breathing, and we're going to be working on playing together. So, any questions so far before we go into some score study? Yes.
So you're saying that the conductor could have a big ego and that impacts the players. Have you ever had players that have a huge ego towards the conductor?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And what do you do about those players?
I treat them respectfully, and one of my common go-tos, if they start impacting the rehearsal, I'll tell them let's talk about this afterward. Let's talk about that afterward. Let's move on, and I'll literally just start conducting and playing music, and that will shut them up. But let's go into some score study. So that's that's a recycle bin full of anime music that I'm about to hit with the Mahler hammer, as it belongs. Let's look at some scores, and we're going to follow along. So what I want to do now is, also I'm just trying to do that.
Oh, you have
You're like half an hour, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So since I have this, oh nice. I'm just.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great.
So here's what I want to do. Let's get on our feet again, and we're going to follow along to this score. I have a few, but I have an immense amount of scores. If there's something people want to see in particular, let me know. I might have a score for it. And here's what I want to do. I want to follow along here and just practice our beat patterns. And it's going to be mostly in 4. Eventually, we're going to get to the 7, 8. And as we go, I'll shout out just kind of what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking about musically. And if you were at rehearsal, basically this is what I'm conveying to the orchestra. Let's just follow along. Jump into it. It's really hard to predict with the delay, but let's just jump into it. Keep going. So it's very good. Everyone's following pretty well. So let's do 2 before 21. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of those 1, 2s are eighth notes. That's why it goes from 7, 8. So the metric amount, it's still in time. It's still in time. Because we're going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's just kind of lopsided 2, really. Or lopsided 3, I should say. Let's try it 2 before 21. Another very important thing, everyone's always focusing on the entrances. One thing that stuck with me, my first conducting teacher at Santa Monica College said, if you remember one thing from my class is wave them off. when you have a big cutoff like that, just wave them away, wave them away, wave them away. Easy, just, it doesn't have to be dramatic, just wave them away. So if we were doing that big crescendo there, the 14, piano at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, off. And that works so well. It's so important to have a clean cutoff for these notes. It'll just sound a lot better. All right, let's keep going. We'll start at that 4. Come in, cue. 4. Swells and note. Getting smaller, short and small. Accent that. Keep it going. That whistle sending me. Whenever there's something offbeat, I like to give a clear click down. So click down. Nice cello line here.
It's legato, so you can do a little bit of that. Whereas a lot of stuff has been very
Left hand, I'm just accenting that melody. I emphasize those eight notes. Going into 6 very soon. 6. That's the way. So let me do the 6 pattern real quick. I didn't go over it, but it's easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The most important thing with any of these weird beat patterns, as long as the upbeat is clear, we're good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
In this case, in the 6/8, we'll feel it in 2. But since there's only 3 of those bars, you can.
Oh yeah.
Be like,
That one I'll do in 2. The 6/4, that one there. That one is in 6.
yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. And then the 6/8, Brandon's absolutely correct though. That will be in 2. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the feel right there. That one doesn't quite metrically line up, but everyone followed so good. I didn't have to go over it too much.
No,
I was
not
really
at all.
impressed. Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah. So let's try that. Let's go from.
One thing I think helps with those elongated like 6/8 patterns that are in 2 is to really bounce out on beat 1, so it's really clear where the beat is. And, enough of this, and you get slower and slower with your tempos. You become a choir conductor at that point, and no one knows what it is. So as somebody with a bit of that background, it's like, oh, let's 1, 2, 1, 2, really, really clear pulses there, to make sure that people can subdivide 3. Because for some reason it breaks the brain. Just have to subdivide 3 in the beat.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, just let that gravity do the work. That makes it predictable. And again, there's also another distinction I forgot to mention earlier. There's American conducting and there's European style conducting. Everything I'm talking about is American conducting. Because European, excuse me, especially continental orchestras.
Continent?
They play behind the beat, and it drives me nuts.
they do.
If you ever see a classical European orchestra, it'll be something like, so if this is American, we're like, boom, boom, right on the beat, basketball, we ball. Europeans are, They're sometimes half a beat, sometimes a full beat. There's actually no standard, but they always play behind. It drives me nuts. I can't watch it.
Yeah, it's very tough.
And the reason, and for your point, is because we play right on the beat, the descent, that ictus is the most important bit. Because if you do this, it's hard to know, okay, where is he going, where is he stopping? See, so if I let gravity come, lead with my wrist, like I said, that makes it so much easier. Oh, he's going to do it there. Bam, bam, right? But there's exceptions, but that's just a good general default.
Predictability is
Predictability. All right, let's go from this section. Coming up on that 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. All right, cool.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss the second one, and then somebody else.
Good work, everyone.
Well, I missed the first one.
Yeah, you're good.
This is your redeeming moment.
Between the two of us, we are one whip.
All right, let's finish off this piece, and then we'll move
I
on
should know
to
where the 6/4 happens,
another
and I
one.
keep like thinking it's a measure before.
You arranged this?
No, but I played it like 5 times now.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this piece, and then we'll move on to something a little bit more complicated. All right, let's follow with everything you learned so Stab here. Just tell me, just stab as low you can. Yeah. Like, stabbing motion here actually works. Pushing that ball. Cool. Very good, everyone.
Sephiroth.
Seth. All right, what else shall we do? Let's see. I got so much stuff in here. Let's see, what else we got? I got hundreds of scores here. Any requests? I might have it.
Could we do the Windwaker medley?
Ooh,
No, I wore my shirt for this.
Yeah.
I think we're legally obligated to do that, yes.
I don't know if you have.
We will be thrown out of
Or
the
do you not
union.
do my tradition saying that? What? It's on.
Let's see. Where did I put that one?
I bought this on like $9 from Amazon. It's not great, but I don't need it to be great.
It's Windwaker across for me. Honestly.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but I conducted all of yesterday without a baton.
I don't know, yeah.
That's totally fine. You don't need a baton.
I have followed directions from many pencils, Brandon.
Many pencils,
Yeah.
but I have a fork.
I have
Taco
enough
Bell
drumsticks
fork or
for.
Wiener Schnitzel fork?
Wiener Schnitzel fork.
What you got, man?
Just whatever you can find.
Just to kind of ask whether there were moments where you would or would not like consciously use the baton versus hands.
My background is in choral conducting and in I did marching band and drum corps. So having batonless conductors was a normal thing for me to see, and so that was an easier thing for me to emulate. When I was, because I don't have any formal training in conducting, it's all been stuff I picked up from different conductors who I've liked their style and adopted certain things. Like you just pick it up. But I thought, I should really use a baton if I'm going to be doing orchestra work, and I found that because of my unfamiliarity with it, it felt like a limiting factor. That's something that, like, for me to work on. But what I like the flexibility in not having a baton is that you can give beat patterns with both hands and kind of shape things in space in a way that feels more natural to me, but others may completely disagree.
No, and I totally agree. And remember, there's different traditions here as well. No right or wrong way to do it. The correct way is the one that gets the message across.
Yes.
You don't need a baton, but traditionally, the reason we use batons, there's a reason they're white, and it's not just white privilege. It's
Oh my goodness.
the reason why is most concerts happen in dark concert halls. Most people are wearing black. The audience is in the back, hidden in the dark. So white baton is for clarity. And when you have a large ensemble, your hands aren't always visible as well. And you really need to have that extension here that makes it very clear where the beat is. And that's why we have a baton. It doesn't have to be large. I prefer smaller batons, but I've met many conductors who have these gigantic overcompensating batons.
The long way.
The long way. But the rule of thumb is you want your baton to go from the edge of the pit of your elbow to about the middle of your hand. So this one's actually kind of short for me, but again, I like the smaller batons. I got another one here. It's a little bigger. I almost never use this one, even though it's objectively a nicer baton. These are my Apple pencils, which I never use.
That's what I would conduct with.
But here, this is the baton. See, so this is the baton my teacher recommended to me. This is designed for my arm length.
Base of his middle finger.
And I hate the weight of this. This is a really expensive baton. I think this one cost me $100 with this really nice wood. It's made like custom batons. It's designed for me, but I don't like it. I don't like it doesn't feel like an extension of myself. And I've been conducting with this baton for most of my career. And I'm so used to it. It feels natural. I don't feel like I'm gonna drop it, even though I've done it many times. And this baton has been blessed by a number of prominent figures, including most recently Harry Gregson Williams, conducted with this earlier this year. And MAGWest once conducted with this baton as well. So
That's a personality there.
oh yeah,
So cool.
never getting rid of this one here. But if you want to try them out later, actually, can I pass this down? Can you help me? Yeah, just pass it down. Again, this is a good baton, so maybe you'll like it. I said, I'm not trying to knock it. That is a really nice baton. But yeah, just pass it around.
Yeah, give a few beat patterns
Yeah,
and see how
yeah.
it feels.
Put what you learned.
Cast them
How are you supposed to
spells.
hold it? Just
I
Like just do a hold
Yeah,
right
yeah.
between here.
Okay, yeah. So let me show you.
try like that.
So the trick for a baton, you put it in the first knuckle of your index finger, where it's balanced. See? Then you put your thumb over it,
That's
and then
all
you
it should
rotate your
be.
wrist. And then wrist down. Yep.
Okay.
You always point at the orchestra. Always at the orchestra.
All right.
That gives you clarity. Yeah, just, once you're done, pass it down.
Sorry, this is me mining a trombone. That wasn't clear.
Yeah.
I'm-
I see why you don't like. It is a weird weight.
It's supposed to be
It's
good,
long.
but I'm just, it's a good baton, and if you're starting out, it's probably better to start using something like that, but I'm just so used to this one, and this is still a good baton. But that one's like what my teacher had me
Yeah.
get many years ago, and I just never really got used to it. But I still have it. Sometimes I'll fling the baton, it's happened a number of times, and I'll have that one. I always have two batons on my stand, just in case I fling it, which I've done it many times. In fact, when we were doing this arrangement right here, which I just wanted to point out real quick, Brandon, there's a SID file here called More Trombones.
I love that.
This was back in 2019. I don't think I knew you back then.
Oh,
But
no, no.
if I had known you back then, this would have been even more trombone.
I would have very happily played any of those parts. Probably, knowing me, probably not on a trombone.
It would have been on the horned.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got right here.
Horned.
I don't know. I'm so used to
Bass
a
trumpet.
pencil.
Oh, and this one we had an Ophiclyde and Serpent. That was
You can find the last
It
second.
like takes the slipper off.
All right.
Alright.
So quick fun story about this. We did this piece a number of times, and one year we've done this maybe 2 or 3 times in GME at UCLA, and one of the times one of the students came up to me and was like, oh, thank you so much. This is going to be her last concert. Thank you so much. This is going to be my last concert. Just wanted to thank you now for this whole time. And I got you a gift. She gave me a 3D printed Windwaker, the Windwaker baton.
There you go.
I grabbed it, oh my god, it's amazing. And then I grab it and I feel it, the weight is so bad.
Oh, no.
And I told her, oh, thanks so much. I don't think I'm going to conduct. Are you going to conduct with it? It's really nice, but I'm not used to it. So I think I'm just going to show it to people, but I'm not going to conduct with it. So we get to this piece, and in the middle of it, I fling my baton, as one does. I hit someone in the violin tubes. And I'm very proud of myself for this. Without missing a beat.
Pardon? I don't know who it was. They deserved it.
Pointing to you as a violin too.
Yeah.
It was probably Brian Chen.
Oh,
He was,
poor Brian.
Section 2 leader at the time.
I forgot he was.
He was, because it was Sam, concert master, and Brian was second principal at that year. This was, I think, 2017. But I'm proud of myself, because I went up there and I showed people, hey, sort of Windwaker, shout out to Michelle for I'm not going to use it, I'm going to put it on the stand, and let's go. You go through the music, I fling the baton, and there's a video of it. Without missing a beat, I fling the baton and I pick up the Windwaker and finish the piece conducting with the Windwaker. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. All right, let's go through this piece. So here's a few things I do as well. Like I said, conducting is not just about the beat patterns. I look at the score study. There's a few things I do. First thing I look at is the instrumentation. This is GME, so it's absolutely massive. I'll take a look at what's starting. We're going to start with the harpsichord playing right here. Harp comes in, I'll circle those, I'll put the cues on there. Very important. Basically, every cue is almost like a prep. I usually look at them, I point at them, and I'll give them a cue one beat before, depending on the music. There's a bunch of soli right here, going in. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, lots of little entrances here. It's a very nice piece here. Any other fragment points? I'm looking for things that I think are going to cause issues. And I may have to stop. Usually when I go into any rehearsal, I'll have a list of fracture points that I can anticipate will be problems. Like this, I think here, we'll need some extra rehearsal. This right here, I'll have to point out. So this is 12/8. I'm not going to be doing this like you saw on that crazy beat pattern sheet. What I'm going to be doing for this is doing it in 4. And essentially 12/8 breaks down nicely into triplets, 4 groups of triplets. So triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'll do it in 4. But it's not just 4. There is, like Brandon said, when we have these subdivisions, it's very important when you do a 12/8 to kind of give it that triplet feel, which to me is just a very dance-like pattern. It's what they call a Sicilian dance in literature. So I'll try to give that there. We'll keep going. There's a bar in 4. Okay, so we're back just to straight 4. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. We go into 3 here, into 4. Let me go up here. Tempo change, yeah, 150. So it does get faster, just like I remember. So this, we'll get there when we get there, if we get there. All right, nothing too crazy here. Just another tempo change. So let's do this one real quick. I wanted to end with one of my favorite pieces to conduct, one from World of Warcraft, which has tempo changes, time changes, fermatas in every corner. But this one's actually pretty super. All right, let's conduct it. From the top, see if I remember this piece. Here we go.
It might help if we apply the thing to do this paper.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. Yeah, this is an old score. You're absolutely correct. This is an old score. If you were here for the sheet music beautification panel, we did a lot of this in real time as well. And hopefully this does not absolutely destroy the score. Oh my lord. And it got destroyed. I think we're going to have to do that some of it. I think we're going to have to do that.
Dimension.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's right.
Large. See, it just doesn't work just out of the box. I've tried that.
You've got to move them, yeah.
I have to use my tempo. All right, let's just go through this. I'm actually going to sit down. I am losing it. Bravo bust.
And Rubik's Cube Showdown.
Mm-hmm. Very legato here. Very gentle. Very gentle melody right here. So you don't need any. It's the opposite of One Winged Angel. Very gentle. Do that. There's a big tempo change right here. Usually what I do right here, it's not in the music, but you can see this big fracture point. What I do for safety here is I'll add a fermata right here. So in rehearsal, I'll tell people, please write in a fermata. We're going to off, and then the tempo. It's not in the music, but that is something that I'll do just for safety. And honestly, I think it just makes for a better phrase as well.
So for cases like this,
Mhm.
now of course most people don't get to write their own scores, but we do in GME.
Mhm.
And we do this from time to time with other pieces in GME, and I'm just curious why we don't just put the fermata in the score. Do we have some sense where like the platonic ideal of the score doesn't have the fermata, and therefore we must make it a shameful marking in our pages, or?
It's mostly because
There's no shame in fermata.
partly you're not wrong. Like, and there's some things that I know we're just gonna make game time decisions. Like I said, I'll make those decisions at the podium. Nothing wrong with that. A good conductor can make those audibles at any time. I think, say for example, this is an old score. Many years ago, if I were to redo it again, I would put the fermata. Usually when we do reissues, when we perform it one more time, like say we did it 5 years ago and now we're gonna do it again, I'll take the old file and make a new version, and then I'll look at my markings in my score and I'll apply what we did to the score, and now we have it. But this is the old version. If we were to do this one again, yeah, I would put those things in there. But sometimes they're just not. It's not something I will make a decision on until we rehearse it. All right, let's keep going. Very nice melody, legato. See this little crescendo right here? I do remember every time we've done this piece, I'll stop and ask for a little bit more right here. Because it's not clear how loud they should get, but that's also an opportunity to shape that. And I will usually ask like crescendo of those eighth notes, dun 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 dun, and on a high accent. It's not, again, not in the music, and just something I'll have to be listening for and making that call as we rehearse. And generally, every time we've done it, it's never loud enough, so I have to call it out. It's very important to, in rehearsal, you stop and go. You want something changed, you stop. If you hear something you don't like, stop, fix it, and play it again. I've seen novice conductors go up there, oh yeah, can I make that a little louder? Okay, and then moving on, and then they won't rehearse it. You have, if you make a change, you stop and you go back and you rehearse it. So in this case, okay, let's get those staccato eighth notes a little louder. There we go. Now you're hearing it, right? Now that I point out, now you're hearing it. can, the performer will be doing them. And some violins here. Percussion.
As it gets louder, the pattern gets
I'll usually here also add another fermata there usually. Just for safety. Violin solo here.
We're in 3 for catching. Last 4.
Big X's here.
so many stabs.
Drop my encouragement, cello to come out. Hold that note.
There's a lid in there somewhere.
Oscar Masters. So I'm not trying to put as much emphasis on the beat until it's needed, that section, that section. Very interesting pattern.
You do it in 2, yeah. Save yourself a bit of energy. Cut the tempo and throw it in 2. This will tire you out. You do it for
Oh, then the heart goes crazy right here. I think it's worth pointing out. Check this out.
Oh, it's beautiful colors too. It's like in J backwards.
The mock-up does not do it justice. Usually when we do this, the harpist will just do this and this and that. Anyway, I think we're out of time though, unfortunately. Any other questions before we head out? Any other questions?
If you do have questions, if you come up with something, feel free to come up here and ask. If you wanted to try this baton out
Yeah,
some
no,
more.
we'll keep it up here for a few more minutes.
Yeah, we're going to be signing up for Brass Instruments 101 pretty soon. Yes.
Just, this might be more like adjacent to it than part of it, I'm not sure, but I was starting to notice like even after just doing it for this much, my arms kind of feel like jello. And
That's good.
obviously you'll be on stage for much longer. How are there any kind of like routines or exercises you do to kind of build up endurance for like the whole concert?
Dumbbells,
Okay.
push-ups help a lot, and then massage gun.
Playing bass drum.
Just
That'll do it.
Oh, that's so.
No,
That's
it
so
is good to
wide.
have arm strength, you know, and I do like at my
Yeah,
in
that'll
my
work.
studio, I have a set of dumbbells literally to the right hand side of my desk, so I can just do it for you. I'm not a big gym person. I hate gyms, but also another tip from my teacher.
I'm not fond of James's either.
Yeah. Let me see any. Let me do some closing thoughts. I always like to give these panels and some food for thought. If you're going to remember one thing from this panel, and I hope, you know, I think most of you are musicians on some level. If you ever get the chance to conduct, please do so. There's nothing else like it. I worked, one of my favorite collaborators has been Gerard Marino from the original God of War composer, the Greek trilogy, not the Norse trilogy, the Greek trilogy. Amazing guy. He talks like this. I grew up in the 80s, and I'm an 80s guy. I did a lot of drugs back then, but conducting that orchestra, better than any drug I've ever had. Gerard Marino, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And thank you, Brandon.